English because I don't know how to.
Or you know how, you just don't know enough to be fluent in conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I know a few words, mostly.
I should put the screen up. No one told me. Hang on.
There's one problem is that I am not going to be able to read Discord chat because I'm using Discord.
Yeah, you'll have to pop it out on your phone.
You can leave the channel. You can leave the video thing, and it'll put like a little video box on the bottom of your Discord. Like I'm in the chat, and I have a little square view right now on the bottom right.
Oh, yeah, I should check if I can pop it out.
Yeah, you can.
Where is that option?
So just click on, like the AIE channel, and then just go to it, and it should give you the video all the way in the bottom.
Let's see. Yeah, but then it shrinks it. Yeah,
well, it almost goes to like a Google Hangout.
What's wrong?
I'm trying to pop it out. Whoa! Too much pop out. Too much pop out.
Too much.
I don't know what the stream looks like now. Whoa. The stream looks funky. That looks better. Aspect rating.
Yeah, your aspect ratio went sideways. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, but it won't let me make this bigger. It's like it's locking it since it's full screen. It's confused. So I can't do that. All right. Back down you go. I was hoping I can just pop out just the video portion and stick it somewhere.
Right.
But it won't let me.
No, that looks good.
Okay, then we'll leave it like that.
I don't know why. just say.
I don't know what's
A friend of mine says the link won't load for the AIE, whatever the link was you just.
Oh, did I? Hang on. Let me look at it. AIE-guild.org/podcast-live. Oh, stream. Wow. Hang on. Wow, that was bad. Where's delete?
Delete.
Seriously, where's the frickin' delete button?
On the Guild's website, it looks good.
Yeah, no, it's fine there. Give me just a second, Marcus. I'll retweet it. I see what happened. It went sideways.
How does it sound?
It went sideways. Damn it. It went sideways. Why? Seriously, why? Damn it.
Can you?
It went
sideways.
Seriously, why? I don't know. Hang on. It went sideways. Seriously, why? I don't know. Hang on. It went sideways. Seriously. I don't know. Hang on. It went sideways. Seriously. I don't know. Hang on. It went sideways. Seriously.
Okay, he sees us, but echo.
I'm concerned maybe they can't hear me very well over the stream.
Okay, Max seems to be settling down.
Okay, and I just tweeted out a new one. So Marcus, have him try that.
Okay. Can you put it in the AIE podcast chat?
I think it's actually pinned to the top of the. Hang on. Ord. That's the problem. I did an ord.
Oh, you can hear that? That's weird. You shouldn't be able to hear that.
What are you hearing?
Oh, they were able to hear my audio test on my Stream Deck.
That was weird.
I didn't know that worked.
Why
Why does that work? So the question is, those watching the stream, can you hear me? Because I am curious if the stream can hear me.
Can you guys hear me? Please tap once for yes, twice for no. I don't know. Yes, they can hear you. You're just a bit low.
Well, let's crank it up then.
Crank it up.
All right. Sorry. I'm back. I'm paying attention now. There we go.
Glad one of us is paying attention.
I know. Sorry, team. It's
It's
Google
okay.
Hangouts decided to cut off streaming, and we didn't realize. So we're like, oh. All right. Just let me know when we're good, Mew.
As soon as I can find.
Oh, and the other thing is, unlike Google Hangouts, there's a 30-second or 45-second delay on Twitch.
Yeah, unless I tell it to go low. How
No,
does that
that's fine.
sound, by the way? I turned it all the way up.
Wow.
Okay. Well, loud for you, but loud for them is what we want.
Yeah, I want them to be able to hear me.
Yeah. Hey, Max, how does Mew sound when you catch up with... Let me ask.
Testing.
1, 2, 3.
How do I sound?
Okay.
Sounds okay now.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get the show on the road before Okay. anything
Sounds-
else blows up, and then I'll figure this out for next time.
Okay.
You and I'll coordinate and get overlays and all that. So, who knows? We might even end up on Mixer. All right. All right. We are going live in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
AIE plans to be very active in WoW.
I should have written WoW Classic. Wow,
Oh.
sorry about that. SOTOR FTP is even better, and Onslaught is coming.
Final Fantasy XIV is still recovering from the Summer of Love.
Time to be celebrating crafting in the Orsinium event.
And we have the fabulous Marcus, who's here to talk to us about the AIE community.
All that and more coming up right now. And I realize without my virtual audio cables, I can't insert stuff. So
If I would have known, I would have done that myself.
I know. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
All
plus-
right.
Fix it. Let's fix it live. Fix it live.
Exactly. All right. Welcome to episode 326 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iacta Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi. And to my right, actually, is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies.
All right. And to my left and upstairs is McCullough.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the list, guys. There's a dessert buffet in the guild kitchen.
Yeah, a literal dessert buffet.
It's going to be bad.
ridiculous.
This week's brought to you by butter, flour, sugar, and fat.
Yum. This week we are joined by special guest Marcus, who is here to talk to us about AIE and its community. Welcome, Marcus.
Thanks for having me on the show again. Happy to be here.
Welcome. Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to go around the room and find out how everyone's doing. So let's start with Marcus. How are you doing post-surgery? How's the arm? Is it the arm or was it the leg?
No, so I ruptured my bicep tendon
That's what it
completely off
Ow.
my bone.
Ow.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
3 weeks ago.
No.
No,
No.
it was an awful experience. And then so I had the surgery. I think almost 3 weeks out. I came back to the game because I had the mega event about a week after,
Right.
and I muscled through it. And then I was like,
Literally?
oh, literally. And then I raided because we were so close to beating another hard mode op, and I was like, I'm not gonna miss it. I just did mega. What's another night? And
Oh my
after that, I
God.
was just I just couldn't. But
Yeah.
but tonight's my first night back. It's feeling pretty good. The arm's swollen. I can
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
you the nasty
Not
scar.
the good kind of swollen.
So what were you doing when were you doing construction when you ruptured, or what happened?
Yeah, so I picked up a window and I picked it up corner to corner, and when I picked it up, it completely ripped off the bone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go
Oh.
into the gross details of how they fix it, but
Yeah,
you know,
no.
when the surgeon says, "Oh, don't worry, this is an easy surgery. We'll be in and out of your arm in 45 minutes," I was just like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, right?
at all.
45
No.
minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, there's all kinds of horror horror ideas that come up, like, how do you reattach oh no, don't go there. So
Yeah.
Exactly, but in game, my hard mode imp team has gone 7 to 10 of our progression hard modes. So there's
Nice.
10 raids in SOTOR. So we're 7 to 10. Tonight we're going to probably the hardest hard mode, which is Gods from the Machine,
oh Lord.
just to see if we
I'm
so
sorry.
see if we can. Well, we're going to see if we can beat the first boss. If we can beat the first boss, I
Yeah.
think we'll probably move on to something next week. But let's
Yeah.
try to beat the first boss. I kind of had a challenge from the developers.
Oh, that
after-
we're on your show?
Yes, they kind
So
of,
exciting. Oh my God.
yeah. So there's that, and then Nick and I, my co-host of Working Class Nerds, and I just confirmed that we are going to go to New York on October 4th for the Cantina.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
So I'll probably set up some kind of notification in the meetups of the AIE Discord and just tell everybody, even if you don't play SOTOR, just come to the Cantina
Yeah.
and come hang out with some guildies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the only other thing is Working Class Nerds just celebrated our 50th episode, so
Oh,
that was really fun.
congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah. And was it your 50th or was it the 51st that you had the devs on from SOTOR?
The devs were on the 51st,
Yeah.
and that was an
So-
adventure.
Wow.
Yeah, so you had 2 milestones. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Cool. All right. Well, Mew, what have you been up to in or out of game?
Out of game, doing a little bit of packing because there's the potential for closing on a house. So we won't be renting
Awesome.
this one anymore. So yeah, there's a little bit of boxes in the corner you can see for those watching the visual. But yeah, I'll be packing all this geeky stuff up and then reassembling it in a new place. So I'm hoping to actually have a better setup for my Fallout shrine, my WoW shrine, my Final Fantasy 14 shrine, and my Star Wars shrine.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because right now everything's kind of scattered everywhere. But
Yeah.
buying the house, we're hoping to stay there for a while. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a different way of thinking. It's like that we're probably gonna be there for 10, 15 years. So
We've been in ours for 20 this
Yeah.
year.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's crazy to think of. Like up until now, staying somewhere 3 years seems unusually long. But
Yeah.
so it'll be a mindset shift definitely. So yeah, that's been
It's like, I'll get the landlord to fix. Oh, crap.
Oh,
I
shoot,
am the
I'm the
landlord.
landlord.
It happens. My wife and I bought our first house, and when we did, immediately as soon as we moved in, the furnace broke.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
And my uncle just
Some
said,
major appliance goes, yeah.
"Yeah." My uncle just said, "Welcome to home ownership," and gave me a pat on the.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pretty much. Yep. Other than that, finally after a bit of grinding, now have flying in WoW. So
Ooh, awesome.
I
Makes life a lot easier.
yeah, I just sat down and just started doing the daily Mechacon grind of let's do the world quest, let's do the pet quest, let's do all the stuff around there to get all the individual rep stuff, and and it is correct that things start to open. The more you do it, the more things start to open up on the island, and now you can do this thing, now you can do that thing, finding the jetpack was nice. I finally got the blueprint for the jetpack, so now that makes life a lot easier. And yeah, so it's kind of opening that out. So now my focus is going to be back to Najdatar so that I can finally open the flight point to the raid that we've been doing. So
yeah,
because that's
helps.
Yeah. So now that I can fly, it should be a lot easier to get that done. So
yeah,
it's definitely a different game. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm in flight form now as a druid. It's not the moose anymore. So,
right, you're not stuck on the ground going,
Yeah.
why can't I fly? Where are my wings? Help!
yeah, pretty much. And then, of course, lots of time in Final Fantasy XIV. We had a good gathering last night. We did some kind of impromptu raiding of some older content. But that happens pretty much every night. Where if there's enough of a group of people, they'll do some raiding or some dungeons or whatever. And it seems like that channel is always pretty active in the evenings now. Yeah, it's working on my 4th or 5th character going through the new story. So, might have a little bit of altitis there as well.
Well, it is you. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a
But,
special set of skills.
Yeah, special set of skills.
Yep.
Skills. But
Exactly.
That's pretty much been my life.
All right. And McCullough, what have you been up to in or out of game?
Oh, let's see. Thursday night we wrapped up the one shot or the 6-episode one shot that we're doing in our D&D game. We were testing out a friend of Sam's, Cassis in the guild. A friend of hers had created a module to be played in Roll20. And we wanted to test out everything, make sure it was written well, that the maps were working, all of that. Well, we gathered that this particular developer, their idea of a one-shot is 10 hours, which we really don't have the ability to play 10 hours at a time.
Right.
And then, we do kind of goof off a lot. So it took us 6 weeks. We usually play 2.5 to 3 hours a week. But we were able to finish that up. That was a really good time. We got some good feedback together for him to kind of say, here's what worked really well, here's what didn't work, here's where we kind of struggled with, all of that. So that was fun. Yesterday, we did our other tadpole-based game, also with the members of AIE. It was we actually had just a chance to kind of adventure in town, which was fun, but we kind of broke off into 2 groups. We called the Sinners and the Saints, pretty much. One was very
Nice.
sweet and wholesome. We went to a church, the Goddess of Justice, and we found some material and, to read because our barbarian, he's almost like the Tick. He's like a paladin. He's hilarious. But he's an orc. He can't read. So my knowledge cleric asked for some materials that we could peruse together. So we sat there, in reading about the Goddess of Justice while the other group was literally at a debaucherous party.
Of course.
So it was quite hilarious. Kind of, it was a fun kind of. We just finished this huge part of the adventure. The first what would be the first module if you were doing something that was more that wasn't homebrew. So it was nice to actually have a down night.
Very cool.
That's my my gaming adventure. Hopefully we'll get back to our Monday game because we miss actually physically gathering around a gaming table. That should be next week. Out of any gaming type stuff, well, the kitten that we got 2 weeks ago is still fabulous and adorable, and she's on my lap.
Yep.
And she's the cuddliest thing in the world. Let's see, getting ready for Maricopa Con in 2 weeks, though because we had prepped so much for Crit Hit and for the one-night event that we did at Imperial Outpost, we don't have much to do because we tend to do cons, 2 or 3 in the summer, but they're close together.
Right.
So we try to basically be ready for our first con. So, and then we just had to had to restock our dice jewelry. So now we'll have that completely done. We just have a few things we need to fill in with our headbands. Work is crazy. We're on this inventory push, and we're going just stretched very thin. Kenny and I are getting inventory out as quickly as we can close it. So Let's see what else. Kid went back to school, so got her ready for that. She's a
Already?
senior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Where we
Last
live,
week.
there. Wow. Where we live, they're not going back until the end of August.
Yeah, that was pretty much how it was when we were younger. I think they've moved it up for Arizona just because no one wants to be outside in Arizona in the summertime, so you might as well have those kids in school.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hello.
Oh, they don't have air conditioning in the schools here.
Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Yeah. We would die. I'm so sorry, podcast cat's here.
Yeah. So
Everybody, this is Shuri. If you can see her, she's adorable.
just an ear.
No.
We just got one ear stick.
second. That's Shuri,
Ah, hello.
the floof.
Yeah.
So she's a senior this year. So we did the senior pictures for the yearbook. We still need to do like the big senior photo shoot. Got her ready. I think that's it. Nothing much exciting's going on. Oh my god! Get off my show notes. Sorry, this happened. Writing. I'm writing again.
Yes. Doing a lot of writing.
Doing a lot of writing. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see pictures of Shuri across my keyboard last night while I'm trying to write.
Yep.
Much like what she just tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on with me. Hey, Tat, what's going on with you?
So still rating in WoW. We're still 6 of 8 normal. We got the 7th boss down to about 40%, and that was mostly because we're like, how does this even work? Because there's 3 layers, and you have to be on a certain layer at a certain time to actually damage the boss or deal with ads or things like that. So it just was a bit confusing, but we were getting the hang of it by the end of the night, and I think with a little more practice we'll probably get that one down, and then on to the Naga Queen. So we'll see how that goes. Ashara. Yeah, we've got some people out tonight, so we'll probably won't get to that tonight. We'll figure out what we're doing, but I have been doing a lot in Mechagon because I'm trying to, there's a meta achievement that if you get 8 other achievements done, you get what they call the W mount. It's basically, and Marcus, you should be familiar with this. It's General Grievous's wheel mount, essentially.
Yes.
So it's that. And what I need is I need to go into Mechagon, kill King Mechagon for one of them, get a drop-off Mechagon, which you apparently get the second time you go in and kill him, which would take care of one achievement and half of what's remaining for the other one. The other one I need is there's a construction event that shows up once a week, and when you turn in the quest, you get a chest, and randomly in that chest may be the last recipe that I need to complete all the recipe collection. And then the remaining 2 are basically like complete 100 projects and create 250 items in the scrapyard. So that's where that is. And then once that's done, then I'll go back to Nazjatar. Yeah, words are hard, places are hard. Nazjatar, and do the same thing because there's a crab mount you get for doing the meta achievement there. So I'll start working on that. But the good news is because it has dailies and stuff, it seems like it should be much more straightforward to get the stuff. The one there's one quest that I'm missing completing on, and that is daily they will have basically Bejeweled quest and a Untangle the Lines quest. Well, in the Bejeweled quest there's an easy, medium, and hard, and there's 6 colors. So you need to get green 6 times easy, green 6 times hard, green 6 times medium. And everyone that's been doing it daily is stuck on the same thing, and that is green never spawns on the easy point. That's the last one that literally everybody needs for that achievement.
RNG.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just random when it appears and what color appears. So yeah. So that I was on the Datacron hunt that we did last Tuesday on Star Wars, so that was fun. Got to see some places and get to some places I hadn't been, so that was fun. And then the other thing I've picked up is one of my friends gave me an extra Steam key that he had to Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a very interesting medieval themed RPG. And I'm not even out of the tutorial, and I've died like 7 times. And yeah, it's a really interesting RPG. When you start out, you basically get, as part of the dialogue and stuff, you get like 2 choices of either speech, vitality, agility, or strength. And depending on what you choose, it increases your skill in that. So that's kind of how you form what class you would actually play without formally, picking a class and saying, I want to be a fighter, so I want strength and vitality, or I want to be a bard, so I just want to put everything into speech, or I want to play a rogue, so I'm just going to put everything into agility and speech, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. And it's a really good representation of, because you start out as part of the crafting lower class, having to interact with the nobles and things like that, and it's just interesting how it portrays it all. It's a really kind of almost an eye-opening view into that whole world of how it worked. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of fun. So I've been playing that as well. But I think that's enough about us. Let's get into AIE news.
Yep.
Exactly.
AIE news.
All right. And I think you're up first.
Yep.
In community news, we'll get the mandatory fun night list going, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. So, already going on in 7 minutes is the STO mandatory fun night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Then starting tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is the Guild Wars 2. On Tuesdays, we have SWTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. max time. Mm-hmm. Wednesdays is the first of the Final Fantasy XIV mandatory fun nights, and that is at 10 p.m. Eastern. Fridays, we have both the ESO mandatory fun night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the second of the Final Fantasy XIV, the late night edition of mandatory fun night at 11 p.m. Eastern. Then Saturdays, we have Lord of the Rings Online at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and New Braid in WoW is at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Wow. All right. In streaming and guild podcast news, we have SWTOR Escape Podcast 303. There is no try, except on the PTS. In this so PTS up, down, back up soon, and they have an interview article with Carrie Mead, the game art director, and new agent sets and abilities. And in SWTOR Escape Podcast 304, event driven, we have Dick and Marcus's dev interview, mercenary class changes, and guild events everywhere. And speaking of Marcus and Nick, we have working class news 51. Druck's deep dive with the devs. Nick and Marcus sit down with Matt
Pusevich,
thank you, and Eric Mesko from BioWare Star Wars: The Old Republic development team. In the interview, the guys get some exclusive insights into the first operation boss on Dux, as well as some planned changes to operation mechanics in the future.
Yeah.
It is really freaking exciting.
Yeah. Marcus, did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, please.
So, going back a couple months, we became content creators for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and once they announced the expansion, I immediately sent an email to the developers, Musco, and Daniel Steed, which is kind of Musco's assistant, and told them that as soon as they can release some information on Duxon, Nick and I want to have them on the show to talk about it. And when they came on, they actually gave us some news that nobody has heard before, and then they left us with a screenshot of the first boss of the operation, which we got to tweet out, and it kind of looks like a lizard, lizard dog. I don't know, but it was really cool. It was really fun to have them on, and Eric Musco being the community manager, he's very comfortable talking to everybody. But when you don't realize that I'm a natural talker, I guess. So
right.
The other developer, Matt Pusevich, in the beginning was like, I thanked him for coming on the show, and he was like, "Did I do okay?" I was nervous, and I was like, "Oh man, this is great." So it was great to hear the insight of the developers and kind of give the community something that they haven't heard before.
Very cool.
Because who knows when we would have heard all that information if they didn't come on the show. Could have been another month. Who knows?
Right, exactly. All right. Very cool. And in WoW news, the WoW Alliance team is still recruiting. They take Cross Realm as well. And they finally... Alliance team got into Eternal Palace, killed 3 bosses, and New Braid also did Eternal Palace and took down the first 3 bosses. So, good on them. And coming up Monday, August 13th. August 12th.
August 13th is, August 13th
is... August
Yeah,
13th is the naming. The 12th, the WoW Classic servers will be up until 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, which is Monday. And then 3 p.m. Pacific on the 13th, you can reserve 3 character names in WoW Classic. So we're looking forward to doing that. For those that are wondering, what is AIE doing? Well, let me tell you a little story. We are gearing up for WoW Classic, and the officer team wants to make sure that the initial plans are known for the guild. We're going to aim for being on Paggle, Pagle. It is the PvE server on the East Coast, along with a number of other podcast communities like Convert to Raid, The Starting Zone, World of Warcast, Lagging Balls, and iTunes, just to name a few. The goal will be to have AIE focused on Horde side, but be able to coordinate activities with the other guilds and build a bigger community on the server overall. Nevermore has been working very hard at getting plans together for gathering the initial money needed to buy the guild charter, which will be 10 silver, as well as the 9 signatures needed. It's actually 10, but the person that buys the charter counts as the first signature, so we just need 9 more. We will also be taking afterwards a donation for the guild tabard once we get the guild signed and started, but don't forget your own essentials of buying spell ranks and other things like that, arrows, bullets for hunters,
the ability to use certain weapons.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because it'd be one thing to get this brand new great 2-handed sword and realize, I need to go train up that.
Which end do I point at thing? I don't understand.
Yeah. So Never will have a character parked in Orgrimmar to take donations for the guild tabard, as mailing thing costs 30 copper, and that
goodness.
That defeats the whole point of here, let me send you 30 silver. I got 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And for launch day, we will be on AIE Discord in either the WoW Voice channel or one of the social channels like Milliways. So make sure to join us, even if it's just to listen in. We're really treating this like a GURP, a new game launch, starting a new community. We're working with a large number of other communities to all get on the same server so that we can do events together. Do
Fantastic.
like running of the gnomes and that sort of thing. Kind of like, Marcus, I think what you folks did with some of the other communities on Starforge when you did that one event that they were doing. So,
right, and we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
I have a question though about the WoW Classic.
Yes.
So, are they expecting so many people to be able to reserve 3 names? Because let's say your name is Tet or Mew on the server, you're not going to be able to carry those names over because it's a complete separate server.
Correct. Yeah,
Ooh.
this is brand new. This would be like Marcus as if they went back and did SOTOR 1 to 50 with just the class stories and spun it off as brand new server.
Oh, yeah, I'd kind of want my name.
Right, exactly. So, and thanks to Kaz and Seema for pointing out in the chat room that the reservations are tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. I thought it was the 13th, but it's the 12th, so it is tomorrow.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and the reason they're limiting it to 3 characters is you can have 10 characters per server, 50 characters total on your account in Classic, and this is separate from your 50 characters you can have in the live game. So we just want to get everyone on the Pagel server, get your 3 character names reserved. Even if you're not planning on playing, playing immediately, make sure you reserve your name just so that it's set aside. So when you do want to play, yeah. And Tiber pointed out, Garrett had told Scott what name he wants on Classic, and then Scott just told everyone that was listening to the instance. So, like she said, good luck, Garrett. So, yeah, just like I said, we're going to be on Pagel. Reserve your names. As soon as we have the names reserved and everything gets sorted out, just keep your eye on Discord because things might be a little bit in flux. What we're trying to avoid is nothing against streamers, but some of the very active, very large streamers are going to dominate certain guilds. Thankfully, it looks like most of them are going to the PvE servers, and we just want to make a large active server that has a good community from all the folks we know and interact with. So right now it's Pagel. That may change if we end up with something on Pagel that causes issues, but right now everything's Pagel, and we will be looking for a few people to help us get those initial guild signatures and help generate the money for that. So as soon as we confirm the name reservations and all that, look for another post to come out with the final information about launch day and what's going on with that. So
cool.
In SOTOR news, Onslaught is coming, and the new maximum character level will increase from level 70, and it'll go up to 75. But if you want to jump in near the top, like I just did in WoW, which I can talk about later, you can purchase a character token, and you can either go from level 60, 65, or I think one of the new tokens will take you right to 70. So then you only have to jump the 5 levels to be the max level and be able to jump into all the end game content. The available tokens all work a bit differently, but they to achieve different ends. So do your research if you want to take this option, or jump into the Discord and ask for one of us, and we can kind of walk you through. But if I can just say I think it's called the Master's Datacron.
Yep.
It gets you to max level, or in this case, it'll get you to level 70, but it does not erase the class story. So you can actually go back and start at the level 1 content, but you're actually max level. So you can enjoy the mandatory fun nights if we go to an operation, but yet still enjoy your class story. And with level sync, it makes it so it's when you're on that planet, you're at the highest tier of that level, but at least, you're still shooting, 1 or 2 damage on the first planet, but it should be good. The next phase of the public test server will be up soon, which I think, Musco said it was going up on Friday, but I don't know if it did. You can go there to test out the new abilities coming in the expansion, as well as the new material storage system. I know that they're releasing the Bounty Hunters new abilities, but they haven't really given them much because we all know, what does a Bounty Hunter not have? Also, SOTOR's free-to-play offering just got sweeter. So if you felt it was limiting before, it might be worth checking out again. Right now, we're in the middle of a double XP event that is running for another couple weeks. It's a great time to get in and get that straggler to level 70 before Onslaught. There is a possibility that there will be a sale on character renames and character transforms in the weeks leading up to Onslaught. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. And last but not least, this month's mega event will be on Friday, August 23rd at 9 p.m. We're going to be doing the Fleet Datacron. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of Sork stuff pulling around. And it's famous for its requirement of coordination and death-defying acts of bravery. Okay, well, coordination anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, during all this, we're going to make this a server-wide event. So basically, if you're on the fleet on that day, and we're going to post it out to everybody is welcome to get this, because from what I understand, it's going to require Max dying a few times to get it.
Okay.
Which, who doesn't want that to happen?
I'm sorry, that's a risk we're willing to take.
Yes.
I was really hoping you'd say that. And also, we are going to have our SOTOR resident trivia master, Mal Lung, come up with some really hard trivia questions to give away some really sweet prizes again.
Great.
Cool. All right. In Final Fantasy XIV news, the Eden Normal raid clears are continuing. So if you're interested in that, just jump on in one of the evenings, and like I said earlier, if there's a critical mass of people, they'll give that a run. The Summer of Love did happen. The FC met in the FC House basement and participated in the community-wide remembrance event. The basement may still smell a little bit like AR champagne as they were spraying it all over the place, and it takes a while to get that cleaned up. The FC is now at 130 members, with 14 new and returning players joining in the past week alone.
Great.
The Moonfire Fair is going on until August 26th. You can earn a new outfit that looks a lot like the Namazu outfits, if you're curious. You can also get an inflatable swimming pool and a wind chime chart for your houses. They are outdoor items. There is a link in the show notes to all that information. They also started the free logins for previous subscribers. You can play free for up to 6 days. That's pretty cool. The game is still free to play for new players up to, I think, 35. And which means you can do every single class, and I've seen it. People level every single class to 35. They've towed that line before they finally started paying any money. So that is a thing you can totally do. In related news, if you do purchase a game time card, you can get a free Fantasia, which is the Final Fantasy's way of changing your character's look and look and race. So if you're interested in getting one of those Fantasias for free, just buy a time card, which you need time anyway, so might as well. I also want to put in a note in here that we do have several AIE Final Fantasy XIV streamers. They have started using Mixer. You can find them at Abavan's doing it, as is Duris, and Second Aid as well, although it's AIE_Second Aid. You can look in the show notes for it, but they've actually been doing 2- and 3-way streams, so that you can actually see all 3 or all 2 of their screens at the same time while they're playing, and you can choose which audio one you want to listen to. But that way you can see it, we were doing the Deltascape, so you could see it from 3 different angles. One was a healer, one was a tank, one was DPS, so you can actually see different angles of the game all at the same time. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. All right. So in ESO, the Orsinium Celebration event is running now through Monday, August 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. During the event, you can get double crafting mats from the harvesting crafting nodes, double rewards for Maelstrom Arena for both the vet and normal difficulty, and double the reward boxes from the daily quests. The first daily each day also awards 2 event tickets, 1 per account per day. The next DLC for the Summer of Dragons is called Scalebreaker, and it will be out tomorrow on PC and Mac, and August 27th for consoles. It is free for ESO Plus members, or they can purchase in-game in the in-game Crown Store.
Awesome. And in EVE news, new space with new PvE and PvE opportunities. War is still going on, I think.
Maybe.
Jedi's more out of the loop than normal because he's migrating everything to a new PC. We will have more of a focus on Alliance level stuff at this point. On that front, members are not allowed to file for Coalition SRP anymore. All requests must be made on the Blade of Grass forum. If you don't know the link, ask in AIU Discord. If you're not in AIEU Discord, that link should be pinned in the EVE Embassy channel in the AIE Discord. If you're not in that Discord, well,
You might be a spy.
You're not chatting with us,
And you're a spy.
and you're a spy.
And will be executed.
Spy.
It's aie-guild.info/discord. Fly dangerously.
In Guild Wars 2 news, Monday mandatory fun nights are going after bigger and badder world bosses like Tikwalu and a bigger dragon than the one we took down during the Summer of Love event. So sounds like they're up to something in there.
All right. And hello to our starting on the 17th during SNL, which is their MFN. They'll be starting the process of acquiring the Cloak of the Clock. It will take at least a few weeks to get it. It only requires you to be out. It only requires for you to be out of the intro area. If anyone needs help, let them know on the guild website. There is a blog for Lord of the Rings Online for more information.
All right. And with all that news, let's get back to Marcus and find out what is going on in the AIE community lately.
So in AIE fashion, it's all about the community. You know, we all play games together, but I would say the guild itself is more of, well, I call it a family more than a community. And we really focus on in-game events, because if you look at through all of our games, there's always something going on. Any day of the week, you can do something with the guild in a game. And most of it is these, all the big ones. But then there's our Nomads channel where there's always some game that is the new hotness that somebody's playing, and you can always connect with those people.
Yep.
And on top of that, then you throw in our in real life meetups, which, I heard now you guys call it something. And it's on a mountain, and Max runs up and down the mountain in Utah. What is that called?
Snowbird.
Nerdtacular.
Nerdtacular. So I've heard that it's coming back.
We've
and
heard
if it does,
that. That'd be
Rumors.
Yeah.
Rumors. And scuttlebutt.
It needs to happen.
Yes.
Well, I said to my wife, I said, if it happens, we're going to Utah.
There is nothing like it. I mean, it is very much. It's like being in guild chat or Discord, like you walk through the room and, hey, there's your buddy that you play with on Saturday nights. And there's, your guildie that you always run into in, whatever given large town in the game. And all of it. No, it's a really amazing event. And yeah, if you need to make it out there when it happens again.
Yep.
And it just adds to the point of what the community has done. And I'll be selfish and talk about myself because it's my own story. So for me, I was working on a house doing trim like I do every day, and I'm playing Star Wars, and I went onto the Apple Podcast and I found Max and Seema's podcast, and they said something like, well, we're over on the Jedi Covenant server. This is the old server before the merger, and we'd love you to come play with us. We come play on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. And I said, wait a minute. It's Tuesday, and I'm on the Jedi Covenant server.
Awesome.
So I somehow got a hold of them, and I ran once, and then they started advertising for an operations team, raid team, that needed a player. And I said, do I have to be in guild to Jana, one of our officers? And she said, no. And I said, great. And then after about a week, the team started busting my butt saying, why aren't you in the guild? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, just accept this. You're in. And from there, I started talking to everybody, and I almost felt like a nuisance.
Right. Oh, and
everybody's like, who is this guy? He came out of nowhere. And years later, I'm a community officer, and Nick jokes and says, I'm the guild cheerleader. And that's why when I said, I would love to talk about this subject with you guys, because we are such a big community that, our outreach is growing, between Max and Seema's podcast. And I'm talking about just alone for SOTOR. And then Nick and I and our podcast came out of that. And then, reaching out to all these other guilds and players in game and saying, hey, come with us. We need your help. Our community has grown. Our Discord has never been so active.
Fabulous.
So the goal is to grow the community and the guild in all of the channels. And how we do that is getting all the guildies together in WoW or, Lotro. Mal is doing an awesome job in Lotro on Saturday nights. I'd like to see a bunch of AIE members go into Lotro, even if it's just for one night, and Mal can find something super fun for us all to do. Mm-hmm. And you never know, if 10 people play, you never know, one person might fall in love with that game and run with it. And next thing you know, that community's growing. Or get some people in WoW, or even the WoW Classic, because everybody's starting off at the beginning. Like you guys were saying, what your plan is, and I have a couple questions about that. Going on the Pagel server, right? Now you're going on this Pagel server, and your whole intention is to be surrounded by other podcasters and other guilds, so you can kind of group together and do events together. And that in itself is what AIE is all about. And next thing you know, those members maybe love the guild after running with you once, and next thing you know, they're joining. And that's what it's about.
Yep. Exactly.
And I can say, talking about the guild and our community, I want to say, like, of my really close personal friendships, a lot of them are either people that I met because of AIE. I'm looking at you, Nevermore, or Mew and his wife, or people, or my friend Teresa, or people that I have brought into AIE because I love them and I know they game. So it's just this gorgeous, gorgeous family that we just kind of, it's very built organically by, bringing in the people we want to play with, and also falling in love with the people we play with.
Well, that's right. And because of that, the events bring us closer together, and I'm sure you guys can explain it again, but Remembrance Day is that is one of the most special days of the year for me. And this year was extra special because my grandmother passed away this year, and it was my time in game, when I'm doing the thing that I love to do, to, tip my cap to her and remember those moments. And then on top of it, you hear the stories of all the guildies who aren't with us anymore, or as I say, that have become one with the Force. Mm-hmm. And it really hits your heart, even though I didn't get to meet some of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they become part of our guild's collective memory.
That's right. So I know myself, I've been working in the shadows trying to come up with a game plan to add almost like a workload to myself, to where I would like to visit, I don't know if it would be every month or maybe every other month, but I would like to visit all of the big games we go to, and at the same time make it an event and say, hey, everybody's welcome. Whether you're in AIE or you're in another guild, come play with us for one night. And let's check out Guild War 2s or Final Fantasy 14, because I'm pretty sure most of these games you can play for free up to a certain point. So, all you need is hard drive space. But I don't know, is Guild Wars 2 free?
I think you have to buy it once and then it's free. But what you're actually talking about is what one of the original purposes of Nomads was. They actually used to do that on a regular basis. Every week they would pick a new game and say, let's go invade that game for a bit. And then let's go invade this game for again. And it kind of rolled more into this is where all the unaffiliated games kind of hang out. But at a time, they actually did that. That's why it was called Nomads, is they just roamed from game to game to game, even the existing games, and just kind of flooded it and then said hi and did some fun stuff, and then they tried a new one. That way they can try all the different games.
Yeah, and I want to bring it back, and then Corley and I think we're on the radar for February. We're going to be doing the Amazing Race again.
Oh, great!
And if I might, it was Ralph that created it.
Right. It was Ralph's idea. Yep. Exactly.
Yep. So I know Corley and I are going to work on that, and it's going to happen after the holiday season. Because from what I understand, it's a lot of work to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to bring back some of those core elements of what, AIE had, and let's bring it back and really get people playing more games together. And the more games you play, if, we've played together, but Mew and I don't think have ever played together. What if we ended up in Final Fantasy together, and next thing you know, we're playing all the time together? It's just another way to grow, and it's spectacular.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Yeah, and be careful with that game. It does suck you in. It sucked quite a few people in suddenly.
Oh,
well, yeah. I tried it. The cutscenes are what get me. All of a sudden, I'm like, okay, a cutscene, and then I'm still sitting in front of the computer watching a cutscene.
Oh, yeah.
10 minutes later, I'm like, the money that it must have cost to make these cutscenes in this game.
Well,
it blows my mind.
That's the fun thing is for the most part, that's using in-game assets. That's how they're able to get your character in there. Because if it was pre-rendered, they wouldn't have your character in there. Right. So that's one of the things that's always I've always loved about the Final Fantasy stuff, for example, is that it's you're in it, you're included in what's going on. You're not just over in the corner. You're not a mercenary that they bring in from time to time. It's like, no, you're front and center. But that's an aside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So over the course of the next few months, we're going to be trying to put together a night to get, maybe if you're not comfortable playing WoW. Well, I've never played it, and I just downloaded it, and I'm going to try. Well, I've played it to level 2, and I got lost, and I got frustrated. And Cyrene, it tried to help, and I was just lost, and I'm like, oh, man. And speaking of Cyrene, didn't Cyrene get married in game?
She got married in game. She got married to a guildie. In her wedding, actually, both her maid of honor, bridesmaid, best man, and attendant, we were all guildies.
Yep.
Wow. See.
And it was actually during the Summer of Love that she got married.
Even better.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to say to everybody is, we're more of a family, and I just want everybody to play games with us. But I have one more thing to say. Mal has reached out and asked me to read a little something, and it's just a snippet of what this community can do. So he says, I will leave it up to you if you want to mention it while I'm calling you out. But here is a true story of the community of AIE. I was a casual AIE member until listening to the AIE podcast and hearing Abavan, he thinks, issue a challenge to reach out and group up with somebody in game. I took that challenge and loved it. It was so much fun that I kept doing it to the point that I am now on 2 operations teams and a co-leader on one of them. Because of what you did with Mega monthly Epic Guild activity, that's the event I host, and the success of that, I decided to try that in Lotro and eventually going every week. Because of all that, I am now a community officer. I now lean on the community to help me through all the stuff that I have to deal with of things in real life. It is a family. We should not be afraid or nervous to join in stuff that is going on in the community. Even if it is slightly uncomfortable, if it wasn't for an accepting of a challenge from another community officer, I would not have gotten all of what this family has to offer.
Yeah.
And
that's great to hear.
That's us, yeah. That's what we're all about.
Yep, and you don't have to be an officer to do all these crazy things. You can just say, you know what, I'm just going to do a thing, and if people show up, great, let's do this thing.
Well, and that's the point. So as Abovan did to Mel, I issue everybody a challenge. If you want to play a game, or you're playing a game, message me and say, "Hey, Marcus, come play this game with me." We'll set up a time and I'll try it. So
Excellent.
Exactly.
And thanks, guys, for having me on here to talk about this.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for becoming such a huge ambassador in our community. It you know, that's what we need. And, you know, our community only grows because of the huge heart of our members, and you are a guild cheerleader, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, can you make me some pom-poms out of dice?
Sure.
We'll have to find out. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of cheerleader pom-poms in one of the games.
There's gotta be.
So,
Well, Final Fantasy 14 does have. They didn't do pom poms. They did the glow sticks. That's how
Okay.
you
oh,
cheer.
okay.
Yeah.
There you
Or
go.
maybe just like a
Wave them back
banner
and
that you
forth.
can
Yeah.
wave around.
Exactly. All right. Yes, thank you again for coming. So
Yes.
that is going to be our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Marcus again for joining us. It's awesome to have you
Thank
on.
you, sir.
Yep. And don't forget, after the show, there's probably an MFN going on. In fact, I think STO probably started
Yep,
like half
STO.
an hour ago.
Yep.
If they're
So-
not still dealing with the hangover from their beach event.
True. Yeah, that Rise
Exactly.
is a mess, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
And if you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mew Cow. Makala is at Cyberwaif. And Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website. It is aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul on Twitter, or his website at keyswithsoul.com.
Words are hard. Now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week. We have one. It's Overly Dramatic News from Hunts the Wind. And remember, guys, if you want to try your hand at creating a segment, we always would love to play that for you. Hit us up. That's what you want to do. If you need any resources, Mew is fabulous at segments. I'm sure he's happy to let you pick his cat ears there.
It's as easy as just playing some music in the background and saying something, recording it, and sending it in.
Yep.
All right. Well, next time we're going to be talking to Max and hopefully Seema or some other officer from.
We'll drag somebody in here.
We'll drag somebody in here. We're voluntold somebody in here from SOTOR.
I like
Never
that.
done that.
Voluntold.
Yes, exactly. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsemi.
And this is Mewcow.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Somehow.
And
my God. These
Seema's
names,
killing me.
guys, these names are amazing. Holy crap.
Save the cheerleader.
I like that
save
one.
The world.
All of these, a risk we're willing to take is great, you know, because
Yeah.
you know but like our guild cheerleader. I mean, these are really these are all amazing names, guys.
We've got Spirit. Yes, we do. We're an AAE. How about you?
Hey, how about you? Yeah, no, dude, you have your work cut out for
Yeah,
you.
this
Marcus.
is all on you,
These are
Marcus. You
great.
gotta pick
Holy
one.
crap!
Oh, Max has a new one.
Oh,
I got it. Yeah, and Max is AIE better together.
Yeah, no, these are all insane, guys. Thank you.
No pressure. Pick one good one.
Well, they're all good ones. Throw freaking. You can throw a dart.
you know, I really like Torn because I like a family of gamers, our guild cheerleader. We got Spirit. Yes, we do. We're an AIE. I like that. That's what it should be. We got Spirit. Yes, we do.
Okay.
All
Because
right.
that's me.
Yep.
All right.
Kaz is the winner.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Come from McCullough Snack, stay for the community. I like that one,
However,
Alex.
If you come for the snacks, you have to help clean up the kitchen.
Ooh.
That's my job.
It is, thankfully.
Yes.
I've tried to clean there. You won't let me.
No,
He won't let it. No, it's ridiculous. And yeah.
It's my job. She cooks, I clean. It works.
Okay.
So,
Yep. Somehow, yeah.
all right. Well, thank you, chat room. We
Chat
made
room,
it somehow. We have a show title. We have recording.
We
You
actually
will-
got it. in an hour, which
I
is
know.
amazing because we had so much content and
Yeah.
so much to talk
So how
about.
we started about on time, we ended around on time. How
know.
did that work?
And this kind of
Here's
feels like
the-
the perfect, because we didn't do a show during the Summer of Love, this kind of feels like the perfect wrap up
Yeah.
too. Just a huge
Exactly.
focus on the community.
The real trick is what's going to happen when I tell it to stop broadcasting.
Ooh.
We'll have to make
May
sure
just
that
live on Twitch. We'll see.
So I know that Max might be able to tell you, but I think there's a button that you click that saves the video forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I guess we'll say bye to chat. And
Bye,
Bye, chat. We love you
room.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
what's this button do?